This is basically climate awareness. We are less aware as a region than the rest of the state, and certainly the rest of the country. But global warming is happening. 66% say yes. Okay, that's good. Mostly by human activities, 53%. Most scientists think 51%. Global warming is affecting the weather, 59%. The risk perceptions is the one that always astound me. Global warming will hurt me personally, 40%, only 40%. It's already harming people in the U.S. People agree, but it's not going to harm me. Amazing. And discussing global warming at least occasionally, only 33%. Hear about global warming in the media at least once a week, 32%. This is one outdoor show that we did. This is basically a video theater. I had 3 computers inside showing climate videos of various kinds, and then we had a table of handouts in the background there, and that was pretty well received. That went well. This is a different show. This was a stakeholder group for a Marquette County activity on climate and health, and I was able to get Climate Reality Project recognized as a stakeholder group. 2 of the biggest events that I have done has to do with having Earth Day events at the library, and the trick is climate reality by itself was not going to be able to manifest and attract enough people. So I recruited a bunch of other organizations to go with me. And this one, I was able to get 14 organizations to go in with me. That was a different year. And that was my theme, building a community climate response. And I think that's really my internal focus for a lot of things. It's not about climate reality. It's not about this group or that group. It's the whole community has to be behind this. And that's what's discouraging about not ever hearing about climate on the weather on the TV6. Nobody's talking about it. So this is kind of a broken down version of the exhibit out there. For if it was an indoor exhibit, a less formal exhibit, we created like these science fair fold-ups that had, for instance, this one's about science, the science, and if you can see in the middle. The focus that these 2 ladies are talking about, the one on the left is Marge, of course, is about the carbon cycle. And here's what a full kit would look like. We've got the presentation table, the handout table, and then on the back you see several of those fold-ups. Climate and health, science, headlines, what's going on in Michigan, so on and so forth. And once again, the idea is that people can tour for themselves without having to interact with anybody else if they don't want to. But we are there to help them anytime they could. And in the back, you can see my computer and the projector. We actually had a video theater going on at this presentation. One of the ways we use this gentleman here was a candidate for city commission. We invited all the candidates out for a climate talk. Took them out there and we walked through the exhibit, and we stuffed their arms with handouts and sent them on their way. And both of the candidates that came out won. This is kind of an odd part of climate reality. Here I am picketing there was a presentation by Enbridge going on inside the NMU center. And so here I am out here picketing on basis of climate. These other folks are mostly from the indigenous community. And here was the sign I was holding. Not trying to be political, just trying to make the climate focus apparent everywhere we can. This is the updated chart. There's a 2016 chart is still out there on the exhibit. This is important. About climate, 33% are alarmed, 25% concerned, 17% cautious, while about 5% are just totally disengaged, 10 doubtful, 9 dismissive. So in general, people are on our side. It's motivating them to be active, to write letters, to talk about these to Uncle Ernie, who watches Fox News all the time. Just to step even a little bit forward and we can move the needle in a substantial way. It's an example of some of the catastrophes that have happened just a couple of years in the UP. These roads were originally built in 1920, perhaps earlier, and paved over a couple of times. But the construction standards of 1920 or 1930 or 1940 simply are not up to the level of damage that's going to be inflicted now. And so it was interesting. FEMA came in and said, "Well, we'll help you rebuild." To what standard? To what standard will they be rebuilt? Will they be rebuilt to even 1970 standard? Well, that's not good enough. How about 2092 standards, which we don't know about? This is going to be very complicated for people in the very near future if we're not talking about climate and looking at the way things really happen. Here's Marge driving our EV. We did manage to get a write-up in the State Journal. That's my hand pointing to the charging port, and we try to be leading examples on a lot of things. Like here around the house, we have an EV. When we go out visiting and we visit people, we don't offer to take them for a drive. We let them drive. We say, "You sit in the driver's seat. You take it out." And everybody goes, "Wow, this is cool." And we have to add the footnote that this is an older vehicle now. It's almost 6 years old. It's 2017. But for us, driving back and forth to town, perfect, absolutely perfect. And so also here at the house, we're super insulated. We've got ultra high efficiency furnace. We have a tankless water heater. We even have an induction hot plate that we use very often in place of the gas stove. We actually had to buy a new gas stove, but what we found was we rarely use more than one burner. And so if we're only going to use one burner, and an induction hot plate works fine. And so we're trying to move over to electrify as much as we can and be willing to talk to the neighborhood about that and anybody else who will listen. So that's our thing. That is our thing.